Hello, everybody. It's your friendly neighborhood sports guy, African sports guy, with my BFF and partner in crime, Farisai here.
That's it.
I think we can. There's only one place to start, really. R.I.P. Chuck Norris. You know,
Hey, a classic action hero, sports hero, all in one. And the facial hair, man, you can't beat that facial hair from the
no, you
80s.
can't. Yeah, I mean, he was iconic. Remember Walker, Texas Ranger, and stuff like that. That really,
Yeah,
really, really. He's a legend. He's a legend. He's a legend. Okay, so I guess there's only one place to start, really. The Since you are down in the relegation battle, that's where we start. You said that's where all the action is, right?
that's where it's at.
In the relegation battle. So, what did you think of the Leeds game?
Uh, as a Leeds fan, it was frustrating. As a Leeds fan, we left points on the floor. Brentford are eighth in the table. You know, they're a good team, right? They're trying to stay in the top 10, possibly get into the top six. So they're playing for points. We It was at Elland Road, right? So it was a home game
Yeah.
for us. So we really showed up at that time. Um, but the reality is we got a point. So statistically, it worked in our favor, especially when West Ham went and lost, and then Tottenham went and lost.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the thing though is, like, I think it was a missed opportunity, right, for you guys, because Brentford were not excellent. They were not good that game, man. They just weren't. They were not good that game. I think you guys missed an opportunity there. You should have won that game.
I
You're the
think we
better
should.
team, I think.
I 100% agree. The thing comes down to, and a lot of teams in the league are dealing with this, finishing. People aren't scoring goals at this time of the year. You know, if you look at us, we haven't scored in the past 4 or 5 games, missing penalties. Look at a team like Manchester City with Haaland, who set records when he first came into the league. Now he can't score, and left backs are winning. 21-year-olds are winning the league. You know what I mean? So it's kind of it's hard to score this late in the season. I think defensive have figured it out. The defenses. Um, Now, if I'm being pragmatic, as a Leeds fan, we have 33 points. We have 7 games. So ultimately, if we draw the majority of the games that we have left, that gets us to 39 points or something of that sort. So we'll take that. Would I want the win? Yes, but realistically, I want the points.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I don't know. Like, for me, it's like Calvert-Lewin made the English squad, right? And he's one of the best strikers, you could say. But I think he's up and down form is really. I think next season, I think you'll survive. But I think next season you need to get a more reliable striker alongside him.
Uh, to be honest, I don't.
Someone that you can because he scored enough goals. He scored enough goals. He's done very well. When you look at the overall picture, right?
Mm,
He's done very well for a team, for Leeds in that position, right? And I know you guys are coming from the championship, so maybe the standards are not as high as they should be. But I just think that the way you guys play, and if you looked at how I would say dominant, but you were definitely the better side, right, against Brentford. And
yeah.
so that sort of dominance, as it were, needs to translate into points, right? And how do you translate into points? Keeping clean sheets, which you're doing very well, right? But you also need to score goals regularly. And Calvert-Lewin, for me, misses. I mean, there's a header that he missed. I'm forgetting which head, but I remember I actually wrote it down. I'm forgetting what it. But it was one of the headers that he missed when you were like, he was in the air, he had jumped over his defender, and you're like, okay, this is good. Here comes the goal, and then over the bar,
But
he holds his
here's the
head
thing.
high
If you
and stuff like that.
if
So
you
for me, it's
if
like he,
you
he needs to be more reliable.
but that's I mean, obviously it looks like that now. The guy's got 10 goals, right? We came to the season saying if he got us, you know, anything over close to double digits in goals, that'd be amazing. He scored 10, right? He should hopefully score more as we finish the season. But if you look at our system is, we went to this for the back system to try and kind of adapt, two in the front, two central guys with the wing backs. If I'm looking at next season, we need to retool our strategy, because if we're doing this system again, we're not providing enough service in there. So if you take Calvin Lewin and you replace him you put him into Arsenal, you drop him into the Arsenal team, right? And he's your front man. Arsenal are going to be scoring a lot more goals because they've got a central guy that can hold up play, and they have creative wingers on either wing that can come in and score on their own without the central guy. So that's like, to me, that's Arsenal's weakness. They have these amazing wing players coming in and who can come and attack on the right. Obviously, Saka on the right, and then maybe Madueke on the right or Madueke on the left or Trossard or whatever. In the central, like Gyökeres, he's okay, right? He scores the rough and tough goals. But in terms of like, if they put a ball into the middle, you can't trust that guy to score it. You know, he's not going to score amazing headers. Now, you put Calvert-Lewin in the middle, you give him service left and right, and you also give a threat because defenders have to think twice, right? If you have a central guy who can play well and wingers who give service, defenders have to then think, right, I stay back to protect the cross or I attack them, you know, thinking they're just going to cross. Boom, they get taken. Look at Doku. Look at Doku.
You say the amount.
Doku,
Doku
is right. Doku is
oh my
destroyed
gosh,
Arsenal.
Destroyed Arsenal.
They couldn't figure him out, right? They couldn't figure him out.
Why? It was obvious.
Two things.
Was obvious
because
that Doku was going to be the key to the victory.
But he was doing two things they were doing well. He was attacking one-on-ones and he was delivering the ball into the box. So those two things, you as a defender have to decide which way you're going. Are you going to sit back and wait for him to, you know, play him coming at you, or are you going to attack him so he doesn't get the ball into the middle, knowing Haaland is behind you? That's what an exciting winger can do for you. That's where you're right. Arsenal should have known, but the thing is, they couldn't stop him. He's too fast, right? White had no answer to him at all. Like, it was just, you know. But the reality is that quality wingers is what you need to then go to a formation where you can have three at the front, two wingers, a central guy who can sit back at the top of the box, because Calvert-Lewin consistently has to force it with his head. Everything is coming to him. He's got less than one touch. You know what I mean? He doesn't have time to settle, which obviously not all good strikers don't have that time. I think next season, if we get quality wingers on the wing, that could set our formation up to provide us with three attacking forces up front.
You see, that's why I think you and me disagree in the sense about Calvert-Lewin, right? I think he's a good player, right? I think you're a fan, you like him and everything. The games that I've watched, and admittedly I haven't watched as many as you have, right? But the Leeds games I've watched, I've just seen him missing chances, like Leeds creating and him missing, right? And so what would change at Arsenal? They would just create chances and you'd miss. You'd score some, you'd miss some. So for me, it's like, okay, cool. If you have a striker like that, then you need another striker so that they share the burden, right? When one is on fire, the other one plays, like the other one sits on the bench. When the other one is not doing well, then the other one plays. You get what I'm saying, right?
But I think it's also quality of chances. That's what, how old is Calvert-Lewin? 20, 29, 30?
He's not young. That's the thing.
He's not young in terms of the league. You know, he's not a youngin, right? And he's had his best years in theory on paper are behind him, right?
Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
But here's my point to talk to what you just said.
Yeah.
You can look at the game and pop in once in a while and be
he's
like,
29. He's 29.
Right, 29. He's getting chances, you know, and you see him missing chances. When you watch consistently, which is what I have. I watch 99% of the Leeds.
Yeah, you watch more than I do. 100%.
The reality is he doesn't get as much quality service, which has been an issue for Leeds in general, quality service to the strikers. If it's Mecha, if it's Calvert-Lewin, when Okafor is playing, when he's back healthy, now he's back healthy, you know, like we can't trust that we're going to get good balls in from Daniel James. You know, we can't trust.
I saw Dan James.
I mean, they try, but here's the thing. He's got all the speed in the world and he can't provide quality crosses in. He'll get in the championship, he was killing it because their quality is so. In the Prem, you got to have quality service. So then you say Calvert-Lewin can't finish. Yeah, because he's not getting quality service. You put him on a team that gives him quality service, that puts it on his feet, that puts it into position where he can attack, and then he starts scoring goals.
Okay, cool. I defer to you. You are the Leeds expert, right? I'm just
a sports fan.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Since we've touched on it a bit, let's go to the Arsenal Man City final. Let me give you my says, so you guys need to give him 1 or 2 more seasons, try build around him in terms of the service he needs, and if he fails, axe him.
That's a good point. Because if you get quality around him,
saying, isn't it?
Yes, get quality around him. If he shows up, he stays. If he doesn't, we know what's what.
Yeah. So let me give you my thoughts on the Arsenal final. I thought that Arsenal, it was a typical Arteta performance, right? Arteta, and I hate to use this word. I don't mean like, but by the way, whatever I say, right, I'm not talking about the person, the individual, the human being, right? I'm talking about terms of either your performance as a sports person or your performance as a manager, right? So the word I'm going to use is coward, right? Not saying that Arteta himself as a human being is a coward. I don't think so. I don't think you may be successful as he is and he has been and be coward. But he showed cowardice this game, right? Why do I say that? Arsenal have the better team. They are in better form, right? For the last 6 games, right? Man City have only beaten them once, and that was on Sunday, right? Otherwise, it's been 5-1, 4-1, 3-1. And whenever Man City has gotten a positive result, it's because Man City have parked the bus, literally parking the bus, because they were so fearful of Arsenal, right?
Okay.
Of being swept by Arsenal. And so this final, if he had just taken the game by the cojones, by the balls, right?
Yeah.
And actually been more progressive, more aggressive. I mean, like in the second half, there were times when they couldn't even get out of their own penalty box for a side. They couldn't get out of their own penalty box. They were hemmed in. They looked like a championship side. You know what I'm saying? Like it looked like Man City was playing Everton or something like that. This is Arsenal we're talking about. This is Arsenal we're talking about. Apparently with the Ballon d'Or Declan Rice in the team, right? And they couldn't get out of their own penalty, like they couldn't get out of their own defensive positions. And so for me, it's like they put no pressure on Man City. After the first 15, 20 minutes or so, they put very little pressure on Man City. They were just waiting for Man City to make a mistake, because this is what I think his mentality was. I don't have to do anything in this final. I just have to wait for Man City to make a mistake. And because they have got Nathaniel Ake and Kushinov and the likes at the back, right, who are not defenders. Even the guy who scored 2 goals, he's not a defender, right? O'Reilly, he's not a defender. And who's got Nunes, that's the guy on the right who made a mistake against Manchester United.
Mateus.
That guy. Yeah, that Mateus Nunes, right? Those guys, the back 4, they're not defenders. And they've got a sub goalkeeper in Trafford. Trafford, although, is literally the best sub goalkeeper in the world, I think. Him and that guy from Liverpool, Mohamed Yashvili or something like that. Those 2 guys should be starting. I don't know what Tottenham and Chelsea are doing, but Trafford is class. He's dope. But anyway, so he thought, since they're going to be playing this back 5, sub back 5, right? I don't have to do anything. I just have to wait for them to make a mistake, and then through a set piece or one of their mistakes or whatever, then I can go through. And he almost was successful, because you saw the save, right, from Havertz and from Declan Rice and was that the guy who should have scored? But yeah, you know, the when Havertz should have scored, right? Saka, when Saka, Havertz, and Declan Rice should have scored, but they kicked it straight at the keeper. They made the keeper look amazing. But look, he had to make the saves. And so when that didn't pan out, right, it seems like he didn't have a plan B. But then Guardiola did. But Guardiola had a plan B. He really did. And so he then went to dominate the game, and he never let them breathe. You could see those 2 goals, right? When they scored the first goal, you thought, okay, fine. Maybe now Arsenal can come back into the game. But no, he kept the pressure on, and they scored 2 goals. And that's when they decided, okay, fine. Now we can defend and park the bus. But, I mean, he was completely out-coached. He was completely out-cojoned, like there was, Guardiola had more guts, you know, more fortitude. Man City were more aggressive, even though they were the worst team, right? With loads of injuries. Remember, no Gay, no Ruben Diaz in the back, right? Gay is suspended. He couldn't perform, and Diaz is injured. No John Stones, no nothing. They had Nathaniel Ake, bruv, and Kushinov playing as their central defenders. And Arsenal couldn't get a sniff of the Man City, like nothing, right? And so for me, he was completely outcoached by Guardiola. And it was the most obvious thing that Doku is the danger man. Semenyo is good because he wants to finish things off. Haaland, of course, if you don't supply him anything, he's not going to score. But Semenyo, like if you give him an opening, he'll score. But he's not really a creative type. The creative types are Cherki and Doku. Cherki, of course, I think is overrated. And I think he showed in this match again. Remember when he was showboating? Like he was the one who destroyed Man City. Nah, he didn't. But anyway, Doku was so dominant. He was on the left, he came in the center, and he shifted the defense, right? He made them look so scared, right? And so what happened was that he like discombobulated the Arsenal defense, and they didn't have any chance. So yeah, that was my thoughts on the match. I think Arteta missed an opportunity here. Guardiola seized the day, carpe diem, as it were. And I think this is completely and utterly Arteta's fault. He's trying to blame the goalkeeper, a sub goalkeeper. Look, Kepa's whack is Mboch, who cares? But I think the game was lost not because of Kepa, but because of Arteta. That's what I think.
Okay, so let's pop out some stats here. Arsenal has now lost each of their last 4 cup finals. Right?
Yeah, not shocking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's the most in history. Like they have a record for losing the most consecutive cup finals.
Wow. Wow.
Man City won the League Cup for the 5th time under Pep. Right? Pep has won 19 trophies in 10 seasons at City. So on paper, it speaks to your point. Pep has been playing. They've been playing like crap. Like City have been playing like crap coming into this game. Yeah. But the psychological strength of Man City and Pep overcame the youthful, hopeful exuberance of Arteta and Arsenal. And I agree with you on that point. I think, for me, a point that we need to, I'm big on momentum. In sports, for me, the big untangible thing is momentum, right?
Yeah.
Now, you spoke of Trafford. That's the case of 2 goalies. You spoke of Trafford. Yeah. The first 10 minutes when Arsenal came and had that three shot attempt at him and he saved all 3 goals. Yeah. Momentum there was bolstered because then you looked at it and you're like, Arsenal was like, okay, this isn't going to be some easy thing because, it's the number 2 goalie. It's a real keeper here. And even though they may be lacking in the defensive side or whatever, because that was the left, right? It was attack to the left, which is O'Reilly's side. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So they came in through the side where this, wing back, he tends to stay up a lot.
Yeah, O'Reilly.
The keeper said, listen, guys, I got you. I'm here. Don't worry. I got you. From that point on, because also they were attacking on that left wing, City then said, we will use that. We will expose that gap that you left. You're coming and attacking. Our keeper's blocking you off. That means there's room on the left because you're sending people up on your right, their left. So Doku was like, right, let me go. And here's the thing. It was maybe the selection issues, but like having White on the wing versus Doku, a joke, right? From the get. A joke. Obviously,
Ben White.
You want to give people a run because they've showed well, the cup team versus the league team. I get it. But there was a mismatch, like you said. And they tried to sub it out. Second half, same thing, mismatch. And then you look at momentum on the other side. Kepa, right? Before he let that, he fumbled that goal. There was that thing where Doku was sent a ball by Mateus out, into the left field. And the keeper comes out totally lost, right?
I remember that.
Just before that happened. Yeah. Right there, that was a mess. That was a momentum shift. Where it's like, you're right. We don't have, it's basically like Viriaco, your wheel is starting to wobble by shooting. Now, if you're a smart coach, if you're someone who can smell momentum, you're like, there, that's an opportunity. So you start hitting, you start pressuring, boom, he makes a mistake. Now the guys are out of it. Then you come again, 2-0, you're down, and these guys are lost. Cherky could be messy, but he's got the attitude. He's got the attitude of a youngin. He's got this attitude of like a showboater. Because the thing is, that guy, it's like the ball is glued to his feet. The guy has tactical skill. The guy
he's got skills.
He reminds me of Messi, right? But the thing is, he has this. In the sense that he keeps the ball the way Messi does, right? It's never too far away from him. He keeps it close to him. He's not someone who he's not like Semenyo who always he uses the speed to blast it forward and like kind of do all those things. Cherky's always close to him. Yeah, it's always close to him. But everybody's saying where Cherky lacks is maturity, which will be very interesting going forward with Guardiola. Because Guardiola, he usually needs...
He wasn't happy, by the way. Guardiola wasn't happy. Right?
I know. I saw when he struggled that. So that's the question.
He was not happy.
What happens now? Does Cherky sit the next game? I mean, he probably won't, but does Cherky get some discipline? Because I know this from experience. We had a player of ours who went there, Calvin Phillips. And the coach wasn't happy, and he was not afraid to tell people about it. He was not afraid.
He got the
The
attitude
attitude
of
of-
KDB, but he should be humble next time. We'll be coming for him. Look, at the end of the day, he's right? Blinger is right in the sense that, it's the Carling Cup. It is the Carling Cup. It's not the Carabao Cup, sorry. It's not some huge trophy that's going to, look, we have fired a coach. Like Man United fired Van Gaal after he won the FA Cup, right?
Right.
And they almost fired Ten Hag after he won the FA Cup as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the League Cup is the Carabao Cup is. But I think why
It's different,
Guardiola
though.
was so
It's
happy.
different.
Do you know why Guardiola was so happy? Because I think he can see the potential of Arsenal. He can see the potential, right? And he doesn't want them to start winning. Because that winning thing, right? When you start like what you're saying earlier about momentum. Imagine if Arsenal had won that cup on Sunday.
Yeah.
What momentum would they carry forth for the league? They would be like so confident that they're going to beat everyone and win everything, right?
Yeah.
And Guardiola, you could see like he didn't want. That's why he was. I've never seen him celebrating like that. For even when he won the Champions League, he wasn't celebrating like that. You saw him celebrating. He was so whipped. He was so happy.
You're playing against because of who they're playing against. One, it's Arsenal, but two, it's Arteta. It's his boy. And the thing is, you think, it's your understudy come and says, Simba, trust me, I got you this time. I've been studying your stats. Then you come and he's been whipping you in the league's last 6 games. You haven't won. And you come in there at a game that on paper means nothing, but it's still Manchester City and Arsenal. The would-be king going down and the young start coming up. And Guardiola was like, not yet, Sonny. Not yet, Sonny. No more.
Yeah.
So disrespectful. But there's nothing like a Mickey Mouse Cup anymore, because here's the thing. These guys that come into play, they're not playing like it's a Mickey Mouse Cup. They're playing like it's Arsenal versus Man City. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're coming to it, take out the trophy out of it. It's supposed to be the two, it's number 1 and number 2 in the league, but also the two biggest teams.
The best in Europe, in England.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's dominant.
Arsenal certainly has been the best team in Europe. Arsenal certainly has been the best team in Europe this season, right? Man City, they're dethroning Man City from that. I mean, Real Madrid got something to say about the Barcelona, got something to say about that, Bayern Munich and PSG. But really, for being honest, Arsenal is like, even in the Champions League, they were dominant, right? They destroyed Real Madrid, they destroyed Bayern Munich, right? So they have been the best team in Europe this season. And I think, though, Guardiola, you could see Guardiola, because remember when he was asked earlier in the season about, Arteta is about to win his first league. You've been there before. You got any advice? You see his face. He was not happy about that question, bro. He was pissed. He's like, I'm not in the business of telling Arsenal what to do. You can see, because if you look at the Arsenal team, the way it's constructed, right? This team it's not old. It's not too young as well. They are built to win for the next 2 or 3 or 4 years. That's how they built. And I think Guardiola is seeing that Arsenal could be dominant for the next couple of years, right? If the league is not careful, right? Because once they win this, once they get over the hump of just winning one of these trophies, they'll then get into the winning way. And I think that's what Guardiola wanted to stop. And I think that's why he was so happy. Bro, that guy was whipped, bro. You should have seen him, bro.
I saw.
Bro, he was he won the treble, bruv. He was so whipped, bro.
But it's also exciting, so you have O'Reilly turned 21 the day before, and now he goes and scores 2 goals. It's like it's huge for him, because that's
I'm so happy for that guy, man.
He might be the next Foden, right? Like look at Foden, whatever. Like he might be the next. No, because he's from Manchester, right? He's from their system and he's blossoming. Like that is. It's not Haaland. It's not the guys who make a ton of money. Obviously Doku's killing, but it's the guy who scored goals for you twice. He's a 21-year-old kid that came up through your system. That's big for Man City.
He's a good kid. I like him. I just think that Guardiola wants to cheat in midfield, right? So he plays him left back or whatever. It is right back, whatever, right? So that he can put him into midfield, right? And then you can have an advantage in midfield. They can outnumber, especially with like what Bling is saying, like with Havertz playing in midfield, right? Yeah. With Havertz playing in midfield. Right, Arsenal were outnumbered in midfield, and O'Reilly was coming there, and he was dominating O'Reilly. Because one thing about O'Reilly, right, is he's deceptively big, deceptively quick. He's good in the air, and he's big, and also he's a bit press resistant, right? Defensively, he's garbage. I mean, like he's nonsense defensively.
But you compensate for that,
right? But what he brings going forward. So if your team has got majority of possession, and that's where Arsenal missed the trick. if Arsenal had majority of possession, O'Reilly and Nunes on that, and Matthias would have cracked. And Ake, although Ake had a great game, by the way, Ake had a great game.
Ake was on
but
it.
those guys, Kushanov is another 21-year-old.
Talk to Blinger. Let's talk to Blinger. Havertz. I don't know why. I mean, I know why he's still on the team because they paid money for him. But like, what is Havertz? Like I speaking to what Blinger is saying about him in the lineup in the middle, like Havertz. Is he a false nine? Is he a midfielder? Is he a striker? Like he hasn't. I know he was a placeholder for a while at Arsenal before they got their striker, right? Or while Jesus was hurt. But the reality is, like for me, Havertz, like he's saying, like Blinger is saying, it's like Zubi and Rice. I can see those guys. They're proven, right? They're world-class midfielders. League best midfielders, at least Rice. Havertz. And that's what I'm saying is about these cup games. The difference for me, they're still competitive. The difference for me is that when you have a cup team, which you have to put in Ben White, you have to put in the Kyle Havertz, you have to put in the Keppers, right?
You don't have to, though. You didn't have
but
to.
You do, but because if you're looking at it, they want the quadruple, right? They were trying to go for the quadruple. Now they're going for.
But look, you have
right?
to win one cup first. You should win one cup first, right?
But
you get to the final. Why start Kepa? Why start Ben White?
Because it's about
in midfield?
It's about chemistry in your team. If you are on a roster of a team, right, and you've been playing these cup games through and through against the Mansfields, against the all these lower teams, right, getting game time because you need to get these guys game time, right? And that's where I don't envy managers because you have to balance these egos, right? And like. In reality, though, Kepa's not going to be arguing anything. Kepa's going to stay on the bench.
He should just be happy. He should be happy to be at Arsenal, man.
But that's the thing. Is like when you have these cup teams versus the cup teams versus league teams versus Champions League teams. That's where, and it shows depth over a season matters, and also consistency of a season.
I would have had Havertz playing the false nine because I think that's what his position is. He's a false nine. Right, he's a false nine. He's not a number 10. He's not a number 8. Right, he's not a number 9 as well. He's like he's like in between. Right, he's the guy that you want to have when you're playing a cup final, for instance, and then you can play an extra midfielder. Right, so they could have played another midfielder and Damsgaard or Norgard. I don't know who's the guys in there. The guy they got from Brentford. Norgard. Right, they could have played him in there. Right, with Zubimendi, and then release a Rice to be a bit more creative, to go up a bit more creative, right? I think that would have been brilliant. And then you play Havertz as a false nine, right? That makes what? That makes perfect sense to me, right? Instead of like playing Havertz in, Bling has replied. So Kepa was also a bad decision. Pep put a block of 4 in front of our defense, and Kepa was not brave enough to cut through the block. We were gone. No passes in the middle, and that's true. Yeah, so, he couldn't play out for the back.
And the commentator literally said that. The commentator, the telecast I was watching, the commentator was asking. It was one of them was a goalkeeper, and one of them was a pundit, and he says, "How hard is it to come off the bench?" And he's like, the goalkeeper was like, the hardest thing when he's coming off the bench, and it's because Kepa had tried to pass out, and it was like a crap pass. It got into.
He was awful. He was awful at passing out.
And that's what this guy was saying. Like, the issue with goalies is that like you sit, you come out for a game. It's not the saves as much as it's the confidence to deliver the ball, to distribute ball at your feet. You know what I mean? To command the back line. Now contrast that with Trafford on the opposite side, right? Trafford was like, guys, I'm here. Like he thought he was going to be number 1 at the beginning of the season, right? So
they screwed him over. They screwed him over.
But
they went and got Donnarumma.
I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm still going to show these boys that like Donnarumma, yes, Donnarumma, no, I'm here. Kepa is like.
But Trafford is a quality, up and coming young goalkeeper, right? He actually is quality, and we saw him in the beginning of the season, right? For when he was playing before they bought Donnarumma. Trafford is actually a first-team goalkeeper. He's actually a starting goalkeeper.
Yeah, he could start for most other teams.
And for me, he would. I mean, take away Man City.
Kepa should have come on before penalties.
Kepa's good at penalties. I think if you take out Man City with Donnarumma, take out Arsenal with David Raya, right? Yeah. And but then everyone else is arguing. You can start. Yeah, Liverpool. Yeah, even Liverpool. When if you want to give Liverpool, give Liverpool Alisson. But everybody else, Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham, everyone else is contention, right? Maybe Aston Villa because they got the World Cup winning dude. But he was set for most of the other teams, right? So Trafford is a proven quality. So I know why, because I know Pep knew that. By the way, Pep wasn't the one who was under pressure. Arsenal was the one who was under pressure.
100%.
Pep has won plenty, right?
Yeah.
If you watch the first game, right, when Pep won his first cup, he put his strongest team, the strongest team, to win that first League Cup. Do you know why? He wanted to instill that winning culture into Arsenal.
Mentality.
And I think that's where Arteta missed. He missed it there. He should have played his strongest team. They should have won. And then you can make your subs later on, make your subs. Put in Kepa, after with 20 minutes to go, something just to say, thank you for coming all this way, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think, first of all, win the game. Win the game.
So in baseball,
Jose Mourinho's got a famous saying. He says, finals are not to be played, they're to be won. Because nobody remembers how you played. 99 final against when Man United won the first Champions League. Does anyone remember that Man United was absolutely battered that game? Completely and utterly dominated by Bayern Munich. They were outplayed in every department. The only thing that probably was good was the keeper. Peter Schmeichel kept us in that game, right? But then who cares? Last 2 minutes of the game, goal Sheringham, goal Solskjaer. That's all she wrote. Joao is done. Nobody remembers Jose Mourinho against when he was at Inter. How boring and how defensively his team played. Where Eto'o couldn't even go past the halfway line. Nobody remembers that. All they remember is that Jose Mourinho won a hat-trick with Inter. That's all they remember.
But here's the thing. We're in a different era.
You have to win.
We're in a different... I'll tell you what era we're in. We're in an era where managers are also responsible for the mentality of their kids. You know what I mean? Like the mentality of these young guys coming up. So you have to rotate your squad in order to keep people happy, in order to keep harmony within the squad. There's a thing in baseball when a pitcher stays in too long and you're like, they go and the manager comes to the mound. It's called a mound visit, and they come and sometimes these players are like, "No, coach, give me one more pitch. I want to throw again." The coach says, "All right, I'll let you do it." Home run, 3-run home run. They lose the game. It's that thing where this managerial thing where it's like you have to be cutthroat. You're right. You have to be cutthroat.
Yeah.
But Arteta wants to do it his way, and I think to your point. Maybe that's what you're talking about, the cojones, the cowardice.
You have to have the balls. You have to have the balls. Say no,
But
Blinger says we see Real Madrid playing City every season. They know well-known tactics like Pep. They just play fearless football, and that's how you beat them always. Arteta wants to beat Pep at his own game.
Because it's you want to attack their tactic, right? He probably got yelled at every day because I'm the tactical genius here, not you, Mfana. Young kiddo, just shut down, kid. So now Arteta wants to come back and be like, Sani. Meanwhile, Pep is here they're like, God, you still haven't got me, Baba.
Look,
you still haven't got me.
I think Arsenal missed a chance there, but I think they will still win the league. I think that's pretty obvious. The league is Arsenal.
I don't know if it's obvious, Simba. Let's talk about the league. Right? 9-point lead. Simba, 9-point lead. One game in hand. And Man City still have to play Arsenal.
Let's give Man City that game. Let's give them that game, right?
Let's say give the game in hand, give that one. You give them the game against Arsenal, right? 6 points. That's a 3-point gap. Right?
Yeah, 3 points with 5 games to go.
Yeah, 3 points.
I'll take that.
That becomes a different thing to 9 points. I take it. Trust me. I take it to 9 points. On paper, they should not lose. It's the mentality factor. What happens at your next game? They need to come out. Arsenal need to come out on the next game.
Thank God the next game is
destroy FA. Well, in the league, they need to do it in the league. They need the next league game.
No, I think FA Cup. If they
FA Cup is the next
cup, yeah.
I know, but it's not the same.
They got Southampton. That's an easy win for them.
Yeah, for me, it's the league. For me, the league is where it's at. If you need to come up in the league and dominate and say, guys, we are here. This is 12 points. We're untouchable.
Pele says, I choose to differ on the league. I choose to differ. This is Arsenal we're talking about here. She's a Man City fan.
Oh, so she feels that it's gonna end badly for Arsenal.
She thinks Arsenal.
Here's the thing, guys. Oh, she thinks
doesn't believe
Arsenal's
you,
going to win.
Faisal. Yeah, I choose to differ on the league. I choose to differ. This is Arsenal we're talking about here.
Yeah, to me, I read that as this is Arsenal we're talking about, and they've choked the last
Oh, you think that you saying they're gonna
20-something
choke?
years. I don't know, maybe.
Chile, tell us. Do you think Arsenal are gonna win, or do you think Man City?
Because here's the thing: this is Arsenal we're talking about here. That means to me, what is their track record?
Jonathan says they're gonna bottom.
There you go. This is what people are saying. I'm reading between the lines here.
I don't think so.
Because Arsenal is Arsenal, and the Arsenal people believe it too. If Man City win the lead in 6 points, and we never know, that's the thing. And
yeah, he's a City fan. He's an
Arsenal fan. Now, here is the biggest win for, apart from winning the Carabao Cup, the biggest thing that Pep has done is start people talking about Arsenal being Arsenal. And the one thing you don't want to do it is that Arsenal fan is people start doubting what the season is, right? Because you're seeing 9 points as a failure. You know, there you go. TK, the Gunners are taking it. On paper, yes, but here's the thing: once you put the oil in the water, it starts to float. It doesn't start to settle.
You and I both played, or I would say, professional cricket, right?
Yeah.
We play Georgians. We play professional cricket, right? Yeah. So pressure is everything, right? Because at that level,
momentum,
everyone's got good talent, and I mean the Arsenal team is amazing. They got very good players. But it's the pressure. Like Saka. Where is Saka, bruv? What's happened to Saka? What has happened to Saka? What has happened to Bukayo Saka? Bukayo Saka, for me, has been one of the best players in the world, right? In the past couple of years. But it seems now he's just he's quiet for some reason. What's happened to him? He used to dominate games, man. He would have eaten up Kushinov and them guys a couple of years ago, right? What's happened to Saka, bruv?
People, Saka is an old dog in Arsenal's framework. You know what I mean? Like, he's an old timer. He's one of the older guard, right? At Arsenal, like his legs aren't what they used to be. Not to say that he's
young,
but you're young and you got injured. Age is nothing. If you're going down, getting injured all the time, he's had some bumps and bruises this season, and it starts to show. Well, you can't run as much, and this is when too much football hurts you. When you have too many games to play in a season, when you got 4 tournaments you're trying to compete in, it hurts. It hurts your team.
But this year, Arteta has managed his games with Madueke coming in, right? By the way, Madueke looked good when he came on, but it's Madueke. But he did look good when he came on. He says, Jonathan says, guys, if Arsenal end the season without a cup, should Arteta be sacked? I don't think so. I think they'll win something. They'll win something, but I don't think, because Arsenal are in a position. Look, last week. They were in a position where they were in 4 cups. When was the last time Arsenal was in 4 cups? And they just to win 4 cups. Tell me. Even under Wenger. When was the last time that Arsenal had a chance to win 4 cups?
Let's talk
like
to Jonathan's point. If they lose without a cup, what happens? Because you have 4 chances. What you're telling me is you have 4 chances. So Jonathan is saying, if they don't take any of those chances, does Arteta get fired?
No.
If Leeds beats them in the FA Cup final, right? If Man City beats them in the league, right? If PSG take the Champions League, what happens to Arteta? Because it's a theoretical question, and it's a fair one. If you have 4 chances, you're guaranteed a win. You're gone.
Yes, absolutely. He's gone 100% for me. He has to go. But I personally think if we win the PL, then it can have a good effect on us, because it'll boost our confidence. Look, Arteta, I think, here's my assessment of Arteta. I think Arteta is brilliant. And as a Manchester United fan, I've been looking upon the Arsenal situation with great jealousy. Great jealousy. Because they got a young manager, right? All the old players, right, were behind him. Right? So all the Martin Keons and them guys, they actually were involved. You know how they appointed Arteta? What they did is they went to the old players and they formed a board, like Ian Wright, Martin Keown, Tony Adams, Thierry Henry, all those guys. And then the manager had to interview with that little board and then with the main board as well, right? And so, because the ex-players were involved in the decision-making, you see that in the press, they completely and utterly back Arteta. So there's no pressure from the old players, as it was like under Unai Emery, where the old players were really just denigrating that guy, right? So they had buy-in from the old players. So he had the support of the old players. He had support from the board. With Edu, he had a dope GM who bought the players that he wanted, who didn't fight him when he wanted to get rid of Ozil and Aubameyang and Nicolas Pepe and the likes, right? He wanted to get rid of all those players. The board supported him. And you could see his plan from the beginning. You could see how he was going to build the team, what he wanted to do. His imprint was on the team. And so I've seen them build up, and I've seen a board backing a manager. And honestly, I've looked at it with envy. And so I think you don't abandon that project halfway through. He is the one who got them to where they are right now in terms of competing for 4 trophies. When was the last time that Man United competed for 4 trophies? When was the last time that any of these big teams, Liverpool and Man City, right? When was the last time they competed? Chelsea would bite their hand off to have Arteta right now. So I think that you keep him. And I think that once he wins 1 trophy himself, because the FA Cup, it was half his, half Unai Emery's. If he wins 1 cup by himself, that energy, that confidence, I think, will let loose the shackles. And I think Arsenal will become a dominant force in football.
Here's the thing.
I just think he needs to win 1 cup.
Here's the thing. To your point, Arteta is already a success, but the success is measured differently by different people. And nowadays, it's about success. Nothing is accident. So if you don't mentality of the players and also the way we play, I mean, the fact that they are in 4 possible tournaments to win matters, right? It matters that this guy, he's an ex-Arsenal player. Like, this is everything. This is what everybody wants. This is what they wanted. Chelsea wanted with their Lampard when he came. Like, all these players want their ex-players to come in there, understand the culture of the team, get them into positions. They are there. Yeah. They are in 4 possible finals to come, or whatever, 4 chances, right, to come and host the trophy.
Yeah.
And the reality is he won't be fired if they lose all 4. But the damage it will do to the mentality of
it'll destroy the confidence of us.
Huge. Because you've been on the door for so long, 20-something years waiting for a title. Ozil was class. He was class, but he wasn't working for his system. But his vision.
I think let's move on, man, because I think we can talk about Arsenal
all day. I know.
Okay, so
said,
did you watch?
I'll come back and say it. I think Arsenal are probably going to win the league at this point.
They'll win the league.
If they don't fumble it, they're going to win. But there's pressure. Who do you
think is going to win the FA Cup?
Leeds.
Okay, cool. Who do you think is going to win the Champions League?
PSG.
PSG, okay. And then, of course, the league, you think it's Arsenal. Okay.
I think it's Arsenal, but I think they've had a big cloud over their head. Right
now. I think that I don't know who's going to win the FA Cup. I don't think so.
Leeds won't win the FA Cup, but I want them to get to the semis.
It could be Man City. It could be Man City. It could be Liverpool. It could be, one of those. I think it would be a rogue team. Champions League. I think Arsenal could do the double this season. I think they could win the Champions League, and I think they could win the league.
They could. Yeah. It's all about the mentality. It's all about
I'll be supporting Leeds. I'll be supporting Leeds in the FA Cup. Yeah.
Let's go. No, it's bull. Yeah. All right. What next?
Okay. So did you watch the Man United game, the Man United Bournemouth on Friday? What did you think of the referee?
This league needs to figure out. This league needs to figure out what's going on in their reffing world, and I'm also a victim of Leeds are a victim of these calls. Every team, and certain teams seem to be getting more of the short stick than others. I watched the game. Now, was that a foul by our good friend, what's his name? The defender, the Manchester United, your guy, what's his name? Yes, that
Maguire,
was
100%.
Maguire, 100% in the league.
Nobody can argue with it.
It was a poor choice of play on his part.
And it was a red card.
His brain shut down. But consistency of reffing in this league needs to be addressed. Because you can't, especially when in the past there's been rumors of rigging and whatever. You cannot have things being skewed so highly one way. You look at the stats, like with Man United getting way more yellow cards and red cards than other teams. I mean, it's a little bit, if you're looking at this, if you're asking AI, is this thing fair or not fair? It would say it's not fair, based on the information going up. Now, the reality is you still have to play past the bad calls. right? You
No,
still have to show up,
but
and
fun.
it kills momentum because my manager got a red card for running onto the pitch too fast. Yeah, the coach was scared because Dara Fark was running on there with shaking his belly, and the ref said, cut, you
Nah,
can't, right?
nah,
It's
man.
not safe, right? Because these guys are
Nah,
running for
man.
they're running for their mind. It's not. If I was a player, I'd be aggravated beyond belief
Yeah.
because of that.
No, here's my thing first. There was the thing. I mean, I'll
Mm.
just read what he says. I've huge respect for Arteta, what he has done to our club. He has put us back to where our club should be, but we can't just sit here. We have to win something to assert our dominance.
Consider dominant.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This year,
But
here's
here's my
win
thing.
something.
They have to win something. But here's my thing, Faisal, right?
Mm-hmm.
The referee, look, okay, fine. Cunha, the first penalty, right? You agree was a penalty, right? For the Cunha one that the referee gave.
Yeah.
You could see the guy pulled his jersey. Okay, he
Yeah.
falls down. It's a penalty. Okay, we're playing well. And we're dominating the game at that stage, right? Which is not easy against Bournemouth because Bournemouth have drawn 14 draws, 15 with our draw. They've had only conceded 15 goals at home. They're a very good team, right? And they're very good on the transition. So fine.
Yeah.
You've got Cunha gets pulled back. We're now dominating the game. And then Ahmad, it's an obvious penalty. And you can see the referee's like on the ground like this. He's like watching it. And then you see he's thinking, and then he bottles it. You can see he's like little balls that just straight up into his body. He's like, nope, I'm not going to give this. So then, right, I can understand the referee is a human being. Referees are human beings. They make mistakes. So that's when VAR should step in and say, no, son, that was a penalty. That was a definite penalty. And this is where I said that you can't play past the referee because literally from that move, Bournemouth go and equalize. If that had been imagine if that had been a penalty and Ahmad had got that penalty, would be 2-0 up, dominating the game, by the way, at that stage, being 2-0 up. That's a completely different game for his side. So you can't really say you can't play past the referee when the referee does that kind of thing.
But here's the thing.
Then my final point is
VAR.
What's VAR doing, bruv? VAR works everywhere else in the world. Dude, it works in Spain. It works in Italy. It works in Germany. It works even in the Afcon, besides the final. VAR was working and that Afcon. Even Afcon, even the not 2025, 2026, but the 2024, 2023 one, right? It was hailed as one of the best uses of VAR ever at the Afcon. So Africans can get this right. Why can't the English? Why can't the English?
Here's why. If you look at the track record, how many things have they come out during the week saying they botched a call? VAR botched the offside.
Plenty of times.
VAR botched the handball. VAR. So again, the system is set to fail because you have the safeguard is as flawed as the first stopper.
Refereeing itself.
Right. So that's the thing. It's like having a bucket with two holes, but the one stopper has holes in it. And the other one has.
That's true, but that's also true. That's also true, right? Yeah, we literally never get penalties in the PL. Yeah, Arsenal never get penalties. When was the last time Arsenal got a penalty, Brad?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like there's too much influence on. Now, let me be an advocate for the refs, right? Let me be an advocate. Let me be an advocate for the refs. You are an employee, right? Okay, let's go back to our days at school when some of us we play on the B team and the A team and be like, hey, Mfana, come and do linesman for me. Come and do linesman for me. The pressure. I remember a game we were playing, Peter House was playing at another big school. And I was the right linesman. And I was there on the line with them. And I kept putting up my flag because these guys were offside all the time, right? All the time. Yeah, but the central ref said, he refused. He said, go. My teammates were, my classmates were coming, go campus, what's going on? And I was like, bro, I put up my cap. I kept like this. Guys, it's offside.
Offside,
right?
Yeah.
So then what happens? You get gun shy and you're like, guys, you know, I mean, like, I have no power. If you're these refs, right? Revenge.
No, but
if you're these refs.
But
you're trying to be neutral.
They're paid. They're paid.
But
they're professionals.
Who pays
They paid
them?
money for a side, right? They paid money. They referee. Let's look at. Let's not
the
just
influence
Man United.
in the league. It's about money.
Did you watch?
It's about money.
Did you watch Carrick's first game, Man City versus Man United? Carrick's first game. Dalot should have gotten a red card. I'm a Man United fan. I'll tell you right now. That tackle of his, He should have got a red card. It was an obvious red card. Where is VAR? And then Man City go on to lose that game easily, right? Easily, right? Imagine if Dalot got a red card in Carrick's first game, right? What impact that could have had on the rest of the season? Think about Chelsea and the guys that are below us. They also agree that imagine if Carrick had lost his first game against Man City, right? Maybe they wouldn't be in third right now, would be in seventh or eighth. So these decisions have a huge impact. Look at the decision with Declan Rice.
Look at Leeds.
Was literally massaging. What's his name? The Chelsea player. Remember when he was like he had his hands around the guy like body hugging him, Declan Rice. And then the ball came and then he handballed the ball. And the referees are like, no, nothing going on there, mate. Like for me, it's like, okay, the referees are human beings. It makes sense. But make sense for me. Or like the referee forgetting that your player had a yellow card. I mean, it's one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in my life.
Correct.
It's ridiculous, right?
You're forgetting that you're giving cards.
Why does VAR work for other countries? Why does it work in Spain? Why does it work in Italy? Why does it work in Holland? Why does it work in Africa? Why is it the only place on earth it seems not to work is England? Why?
Okay, but
that's the thing that I don't get.
Why do other countries have good healthcare systems and others don't? It's the systems. The systems are botched. It's the system.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's
but
the system is set to fail. And here's the thing: all of us have to like for me. We missed a red card against Sunderland. Like it could totally change our season. I could be sitting pretty, being like relegation battle, we're ball, whatever. But the reality is, you still have to play through it because until they rectify it, until somebody comes there and says, right, we're going to automate everything. We don't trust human beings. Human beings are trash. We are just doing it automated. Then you have to play within the bounds, and it's painful, Simba, because I could get relegated because I got it. I missed a penalty in a red card. Relegation. Relegation.
It's not fair.
Not losing a cup, right? But here's the thing.
That's not right.
You play the next season. No. Again.
But for me, it's like it's ridiculous in the sense that look, number one, the same pair that earlier in the season, right, disallowed a goal for us against Burnley when we should have won that game. Yeah. They apologized a couple of weeks later. The same pair was refereeing this game again.
Right.
So now, if you are Howard Webb, right, the head of the PGM, whatever, that the governing body of referees, why pair them up again against the same team? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It's a system that's not working.
Look, obviously these two don't work. Even just to avoid the controversy, it makes no sense, right? And then you've got a situation where, like the VAR, like like that show, McDermott guy. I don't know if you watch the show. There's a show on Sky Sports. I know you're in the States. There's a show on Sky Sports where it's called Ref Watch, where the referee comes in and does like
comes in
the next week. Yeah. Okay, now this ref always sides with the referee, always 100%, right? But this one time I heard him. I was waiting for that show because I was gonna shout at the referee, right? But then he's like, no, it's a penalty. It's an obvious penalty.
Yeah.
So even he agrees that was a penalty, right?
Yeah.
And you know what Harry Maguire said? Harry Maguire said the reason why I pulled him back was because I saw what happened to Ahmad earlier, right? And that was the standard that was set by the referee, that kind of contact doesn't elicit a penalty. So he did even less than what happened to Ahmad. So he expected the referee to be consistent, right? Because you can't not give one penalty and then give another one, right? If he didn't give the Ahmad penalty, then he shouldn't have given the Harry Maguire penalty.
Maguire's fault.
Both penalties should have been penalties,
you.
No, but Maguire is playing according to the referee standards. That's what you're meant to do.
No, Maguire doesn't understand human nature. Human nature dictates, if I messed up a call over there, I'm going to have a makeup call somewhere else. So Maguire messed up. Because clearly, he probably knew that he messed up the Ahmad call. Maguire says, okay, that's the standard. No, Maguire, the coach, the ref is looking to make amends. So what's he going to do?
Yeah,
he's gonna take any call and be like, "Yeah, that's a cry." That's the thing. Like, let's talk about psychology. That's the thing. Harry Maguire should have been like, you can't say tit for tat. They missed the penalty with Ahmad.
It's not tit for tat. It's not tit for tat.
But what I'm saying is human nature. If you get a call on the mic, saying, "All right, yeah, you blew that one," what are you gonna do? Human nature. I gotta make up.
No, but VAR didn't rescind that penalty. So look, I think we're
Wasn't
going
enough
like this
information.
forever.
Yeah.
I think that here's my conclusion, and I think I'll pop a blood vessel if I carry on because I think I was very, very annoyed by that. For me, there's no consistency in the referee, right, in England. I think that England, because for me, like, like for instance, Man United is purported to have like 600 million fans worldwide. How many of those are in Manchester? Very few. So the majority of Leeds fans don't live in Leeds. They're not English. They live outside of England. The majority of Manchester United fans, the majority of Arsenal fans, like Arsenal's got a huge following in Africa, right?
Yeah.
I think in Africa, probably Arsenal is either number 1 or 2 in terms of fans. African people love Arsenal. They love it, right? Especially Nigeria. They love freaking Arsenal, right? And so there are probably more Nigerians who support Arsenal than Englishmen, right? So I think it's time for the for Premier League to say, look, okay, we're not just an English league. We're now an international league. Let's bring in international referees, right? And let's raise the standard.
No chance.
Yes, they must. They must bring international referees. They must bring in Africans.
This is English. This is
the
English.
They will not allow. They hired in Australia, by the way. They hired in Australia.
Australians are pseudo English. They will not allow international African to an African in the PL.
Yes.
Are you crazy?
Yes, like look, get the best African referee. Get the best African referee, right? Who is good. Get the best Asian referee who is good. Get the best South American.
This
get
is the
best,
English
from the
Premier League.
Especially from the Commonwealth.
The English Premier League. The English Premier League, sir.
We're part of the Commonwealth. We're part of the Commonwealth, bruv. All of us. Canada, Australia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Nigeria.
Yeah.
We're all part of the Commonwealth. We must be refereeing in that league, bruv.
No, the Commonwealth is there to be like, you are my minions. I am the king of the castle. They will never let the butler ref the games. Let's be real.
Okay, cool. Huh? Speaking of Real Madrid, did you hear that Jude Bellingham is allegedly chowing Luka Doncic's ex-wife or ex-fiance?
Well, I want to say probably Laker Nation is probably happy about that because Luka Doncic has been on a tear these last couple of games. We'll explain the drama. Basically, Luka's fiance moved back to Slovenia. She didn't want to come to the US. Luka wants to have his daughters. She refused. She filed 2 daughters. She filed papers in LA looking for spousal support. And then Luka filed papers in Slovenia about some other stuff. They're trying to fight the case in LA because none of them live there. So it's all this drama. But in the meantime, my man is scoring like he was today, like he's playing against children. I mean, I'm just looking at some stats for his last couple of games, right?
Yeah, ridiculous, man.
Okay, last game, 33. Before that, 60. Before that, 36. Before that, 30. Before that, 51. I mean, the guy has been scoring buckets. He's on a team that's pretty subpar. It's pretty average. The Lakers have been pretty average. You know what I mean?
Oh, sorry, my bad.
But it's sad that your best ball comes out when you're having this baby mama drama. But hey, part of me is not sympathetic. I mean, I don't know. The guy's loaded.
I think there's a wider.
I feel bad for his daughters.
There's a wider conversation.
I feel bad for his children.
But if you're a sports guy, I think you have to either go LeBron James or Kevin Durant, right? I think you either have to marry early, like you marry your college sweetheart, or like what Steph Curry is doing. But maybe I don't really like Aisha Curry. But if you marry like young, like LeBron James, right? And she understands that this is the family business, right? This is what we're doing. You're going to be a basketball star player. Like if you're on the level of LeBron James, Luka Doncic, right? You are on the level of Pele or friggin' Ronaldo, Messi. I mean, that's what we're talking about here, right? That level, right? Some of the best ever. Luka Doncic is probably going to be a top 10 player of all time, right? Especially offensively. And so when you got a legacy like that, right? You can't be the reason why he drops the bag, right? Because she's a model, right? She can model anywhere on earth. Because she's an Instagram model. She goes on Instagram online. So she can do that anywhere on earth, right? Yeah. Why not move to LA? Because his career is only for a short amount of time. And then he can then follow you, isn't? Then he can follow what she wants to do, right? Because he can't play forever. So
some people are willing to sacrifice.
That's a bit cruel. That's a bit cruel.
Some people aren't willing to sacrifice.
$10 million to raise kids. For example, you're a father, bruv. $10 million, bruv. Come on, man.
Some
And she's a
people,
millionaire
some
herself.
people
So
don't
for
want
me,
to sacrifice that, you know, and
so
like
if
maybe
you're-
it's a power play. Maybe it's a power play on her part.
yeah, if
to
you're
try and
living
get,
in Slovenia, if you're living in Slovenia and he's living in LA, one of you is going to cheat, bruv. It's just one of those things, man. Right? Because honestly, like she's living in Slovenia and he's living in LA. They're gonna be lonely. No wonder she's chowing Jude Bellingham and he's chowing whomever. I forgot
Allegedly,
what the
let's say
star.
allegedly, please.
So
Everybody.
allegedly, sorry,
Allegedly.
allegedly. Yeah. But anyway, I think Luka Doncic is destroying. LeBron James as well just keeps on going, man. Yo,
Yeah.
that guy is just a beast. I don't understand that guy, man. Like, does he ever? That guy doesn't look like he's human, bro. Like looks like he's like 99% muscle.
He's
Like,
40. He's 41. How old is it? That is
41,
40.
bro.
He's 41 years old, right? He's been playing in the league for
Yeah.
23 consecutive seasons. 23
Yo,
consecutive
Yeah,
seasons,
bro.
right?
Yeah,
That
bro.
he would have graduated college, you know, just playing basketball. That's how long,
Bro.
you know what I'm saying? Like he on his own.
Bro.
He is the most. He has the most field goals made in the NBA history.
Yo.
He already had the scoring title, right? And he also has the most games played in NBA history, 1,612 as of 2 days ago. So I mean, the guy is a journeyman. But living in LA, I'll tell you what people in LA are saying.
What are they saying?
We need somebody else to help Luka out because LeBron, man, he ain't got what he used to have. They want somebody. They need somebody else.
What
to help
about Austin Reeves? What's Austin Reeves doing?
Austin Reeves is fine, but he's not. They wanted number two. They wanted number two.
Isn't he meant to be the number two?
Heir apparent. No, on paper, yeah, but the reality is, like, and now the league has changed. But the reality is, this is what my Laker fans are saying. Laker Nation is saying somebody gets Luka like a homie to play with because it's supposed to be LeBron, but LeBron, like we just said, he has all these records, but he's 41, right? And some
but
days
Austin Reeves at the beginning of the season was destroying, was he not? He was really, I mean, like he was leading the team. I think Luka was injured at the time when Luka was injured a bit.
Yeah.
And was Austin LeBron was injured, right? At the beginning of the season. Remember, like in the beginning of the season, LeBron was injured. And it was him and Luka were swapping to see who's gonna be the top scorer that night. So it seems to me like Austin Reeves maybe can step up. You know, and isn't he loved by the Lakers, the Laker Nation? They don't like him.
They do love him, but they like him, but he's not doing enough. Because if Luka's having to score 60 points a game, 30 points a game, 50 points a game, and they're winning by 5 points, right? It means other people aren't showing up, right?
Well, they're certainly the most clutch team in sports right now, are they not? The most
right now, but it's because Luka and his baby mama drama. I mean,
so. As presently constructed, do you think that they have a chance? I think they'll make the playoffs, right? So, do you think there's a chance? Do you think they have a chance of winning at all?
No, they don't. They're not. They're too old in places that matter, and like that's what people are saying. Like Luka can't win it all by himself, you know. And also, Braun is going to have one more season in him. Reese isn't consistent, but he's more than a 6 man.
So what can the Lakers? So then, what can the Lakers do then? What can they do?
The Lakers need to go shopping, or they need to find the next.
Can you still trade right now as a trade?
No, I think that's done. So ultimately, they're gonna. Here's the thing: they're running. They're on their momentum. So that's out before momentum, right? They have this momentum, and they have this momentum going. Right.
Aren't they the best team in the NBA? If you look, I think post the All-Star game, right? Aren't they the best team in the NBA right now?
They are, but then they're going to have this play-in tournament that's coming up. The play-in tournament that's coming up, so that's going to be a bit of a distraction, and like so, you know, whatever momentum you have could possibly go to you know, it could disappear.
Sure.
You know,
the big men. Lakers don't have any big men, bro. They don't have any.
TK can tell you about it. Like they just there's no one. Luka, it's Luka by himself. This is what all Laker Nation is saying. Luka can't.
So then in the West, is it just, are we just resigned that OKC will dominate, will win the title again, win the Western Conference again?
I mean, I think that's the team that you're looking at in terms of like young, in terms of team play. That's the difference. Lakers, OKC. Lakers are a one or two man team right now. OKC is a 5-man team, right? You have all the guys showing up. You still have your stars, but you have all these players contributing. And like right now in basketball,
because OKC,
as long as OKC keep playing the way they are, it's hard to see them losing.
Well, Jalen Williams is coming back right from injury, right?
Right,
and he's the sort of second best player.
Yeah,
He's meant to be the second best player. I don't know. Do you think Chet is better than him, or would you say Chet is the second, or would you say Jalen Williams is second?
Jalen Williams is balls out. Like, he can ball.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
but he's
I think
coming
it's
back from
just
injury, right?
right. So he's not going to come off too hard.
That should
It'll
elevate
bolster
the team a bit more.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you look at Boston with like Jason Tatum, like Boston is
He
hoping
did a
to be
score in the first
competitive
two
on the
quarters,
East.
something, right?
You know, so it's going to take you a while to come back, but it's really about like who's going to dominate on the East, who's going to be competition on the East side. That's where it comes down. Because I think OKC wins the West.
I think Boston cannot win the championship without Tatum, right? They can't win the championship without Tatum, right?
Yeah.
Without him playing his best, right?
Yeah.
Not just having him, but him playing his best. Yeah. Whereas I think OKC can win the title without Jalen Williams.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't disagree with
you. Because remember, he was injured, like the whole of the season's been injured, right? And they were like, the best record in the NBA for the longest time, right? While he was injured. I mean, they only lost 2 games or something with the first half of the NBA season, right? So I think that OKC are a complete team. They seem to be like a factory, right? They seem to be always, whoever comes, they step up, they score points. Whoever's injured comes, they come in, they score points. So it seems to me like OKC are the only team really in the league that can cope if their first or their second player is injured. They can actually cope. So I think that I think OKC could cope. They can give Jalen Williams some time for him to play his way in, right? And I think OKC will be fine. I think Boston, those Celtics, will be under pressure if Tatum doesn't go up to his standard. Because right now he's averaging 19 points a game, but he's highly inefficient. Yeah. He's taking loads of shots.
He has to find his form.
Yeah.
He has to find his form.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, NBA really, to be honest, the only time I really tune in is when the playoffs start. Like, that's when I actually start watching that game.
Yeah, that's because the players are in and out. Yeah. The players are in and out.
But the playoffs is where it's at. Yeah. That's when momentum starts. That's when you can see teams that are on a roll.
I watched the Celtics versus the Timberwolves, and Ant-Man wasn't there. It's annoying, right? Yeah. And I think that's why NBA is in so much danger, because the NFL, right? There's always the best players are always playing every game, right? There's never really like resting, whatever, load management. But NBA, you never know. You can turn on a match and you can be watching Miami versus Lakers and LeBron's not there. Luka Doncic is not there. You're just watching a bunch of like what they call J-League? What they call it? J-League? What's the
J-League?
Yeah, J-League players. You're watching banana Bronny James and them guys play. It's not nepotism.
But here's also the challenge. In their defense, like, I don't think there's a league that plays more day-to-day
baseball
sports than the NBA. Yeah, baseball has 100 and something games, but baseball is, it's cricket light. Let me not say that. But. No.
So America, you guys are reeling from losing to Venezuela. How did you lose to Venezuela in the Classic? How did you lose to Venezuela?
Venezuela had the passion.
Do you think you guys did them a favor because you got Maduro in jail?
So, just so you know, the interim president, on the day after, it was a national holiday in Venezuela. This is a big deal. People who don't know what we're talking about. People who don't know what we're talking about. The World Baseball Classic, right? Because here's the thing. It's like Zimbabwe winning...
it's like South Africa winning the World Cup rugby. It's like South Africa winning the World Cup rugby.
Because they dominate all the time.
Right? No,
1995.
1995. Yeah, with Nelson Mandela, it was just South Africa just won independence. New Zealand were by far the better team on earth. With John Olomu and John Olomu and them guys, they were amazing. And then suddenly they won the World Cup. And then the next year they won the Afcon with South Africa playing. They won the Afcon. Come on, mates.
Here's the thing, right? That the viewership from the 2023 World Baseball Classic to this one, 2026, it increased 128% viewership. 128 increase in this final game. I think it's about 12. I think they've expanded a bit, but I think it's about 12. But this is what the American sports is finally finding out late on in the sports world. World competitions matter a lot. Competing for your country, competing against your rivals, competing as the underdog. And here's the thing: if you looked at the World Baseball Classic, right? Japan was the last winner. Right? America hasn't won
Japan
since
with
2000.
Otani.
Otani, right? But here's the
That
thing:
guy's sick. That guy's sick.
Otani, best player in the world, right? The USSO, these players, the teams that were showing up were the teams, were the Latin American
Who's the
teams.
best American player? Who's the best American player?
Probably Aaron Judge for the Yankees.
Aaron Judge. He plays for the Yankees.
And he had an okay season, you know. But it was so David versus Goliath. But it's also the fact in Miami. Off, so this is another thing in Miami where the game was played. They are
Latin America, Latino.
Yeah, but in particular Venezuelans. There are so many Venezuelans in Miami. So for them, it was not only was it like a sports win in front of their home fans, for their people back home, it was also beating the big dog, and it was also dominating versus, the best team, the best country.
The Venezuelan players
in the country.
Do they play in the MLB?
A lot of them play in the MLB, but they're not very stars. They all play. All of them play the MLB, but none of them are like Otani or like the Dominican Republic that lost before. They have the stars. The
Dominican Republic has got a lot of stars, right? How come they're not winning this thing? I thought they'll be dominating.
They fell to US with some questionable calls. I'm talking about if this is the box, if my hand is where the ball's supposed to be a strike, the ball was under here somewhere. Trout is the best in the league, please. He's the best player to be on a losing team in the. If you guys don't know, Mike Trout, no chance. The last season?
Yeah. Who's the current World Series champion?
The Dodgers, back-to-back Dodgers.
Yo, they won. Okay.
I'm not too excited about that. Personally, I'm not too excited about that. Wait, I have to change my attire because now we're talking baseball. Bro. I need to rep my team. Now that we're talking about baseball, I need to rep my squad.
Are you still a Mets fan?
Still, Baba. Still. They played.
Did the Mets go big for someone? They bought someone big, right?
Juan Soto from the DR. Yeah.
How did that work out?
We got to the playoffs. We played the Dodgers to get into the World Series.
Oh, okay. And then so that's a big improvement, right? This is a good season for you guys.
We wanted more, but we'll take it. Now, the Dodgers are set to, now they're talking about three-peat. We're going to three-peat because they have some of the best players in the league. They have Otani, who's the best all-round player the game has seen. He's an all-rounder. He's like what Jacques Kallis used to be. He's just a boss.
Yeah, he's a phenom, bro. He's awesome.
I mean, he's big.
But what is he better at? Is he better at pitching or is he better at batting?
He likes to pitch. He's a kid who grew up pitching, but he's a beast at the plate. The guy, if you leave guys on, he's going to hit you. But it's in baseball, it's who's before you and after you. Other sports, I don't know how it quite works. In baseball, it's like you could be the best batter, but if the guy before you is crap, they'll just pass you to go to the next guy. So you have to have people around you.
Oh, they'll walk you.
Yeah, exactly. To the next guy. So you have to have people after you or before you that force the team into making pitches to you. And the management of the manager, Dave Roberts, is very good at managing his team, his selection, his players.
Okay. Interesting stuff. So are the Americans, are they disappointed they lost to Venezuela, or is it one of those they're like,
I think they're being a bit quiet because they have their major league things come, but they were disappointed. I mean, when Bryce Harper hit that 2-run home run in the bottom of the seventh, right? He flipped the bat halfway across the diamond. I mean, it mattered, right? Because and he kept saying, "This is our home. This is our home." Because
too early.
They were forced to play, right? They were forced to show up, right? They were forced to care about the rest of the world. The rest of the world said, "Listen, we take this seriously. You guys better take this seriously." So they said, "Okay," and you could tell that it hurt. And America was like, "This is ours." He came out. It was like, bombastic. Like Ric Flair. Woo! You know what I'm saying? He was ready.
So the classic happened every summer now.
Every year. No, every 3 years. I think every 2 to 3 years. So it's going to be another 3 years before it happens.
So that's going to hurt, man. It's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt because America,
2 years. You don't have
they basically have to prove themselves. Yeah, they have to. They're basically. It's like how the Dream Team used to dominate, and now they can't show up.
They still kind of dominate.
They do, but not in the way. But for the baseball, it's worse because they haven't won in the last couple. And it's supposed to be, they have the best league in the world, So you have to, as America, it's a big slap in the face, especially when Venezuela, who doesn't really have great players and whose country is kind of dealing with a lot of issues, comes and beats you on your home turf. in front of a majority of their crowd in your stadium. You know, it stings.
Yo. So don't host it in Miami. Host it in like Boston or something, bruv.
But it's good for the sport. 128% increase in viewership. People wanted to
That's
watch.
amazing.
So,
That's amazing.
you know,
That's amazing.
and it's probably
Okay,
because
okay.
Venezuela, a low team, was playing the US. You know, David versus Goliath. People want to see that.
Okay.
Mm.
So, talking about international stuff, let me give you some stats about Afcon, right? You know, with the
Oh
recent
yeah.
decision with Afcon, hilarious. So, if you guys don't know, CAF have decided to overturn the final and awarding the cup to Morocco, taking it away from Senegal. This is an unprecedented decision. Like, it just never happened before in football. And this is 2 months after the event, after the fact, right? So of course Senegal are appealing. They've got a very good case to appeal, right? Because basically the principle is, yes, Senegal were wrong to walk off the pitch. That was a wrong decision, and the match should have been forfeited there and then. But the decision maker there was supposed to be the referee. The referee is meant to make the decision to stop the game, right? But once he ratifies the game, in other words, once he says, look, the game carries on, right? And then now there's a result. Now what you're doing is you're questioning a refereeing decision, right? So then the question now becomes, why stop there? Why not go back to the penalty? Why not go back to the other calls that the referee made, right? So you see,
Right.
it opens up a can of worms. And so Senegal are going to appeal at a court of arbitration of sport in Switzerland, right? And it looks like they've got a very strong case. I mean, I've looked it up. Most lawyers are saying that it's going to get overturned. However, there's an interesting issue as well. Faisal, I don't know if you knew this. In 1978, 1976, 50 years ago, Morocco did the exact same thing that Senegal did. They also walked off the pitch, right, because of dubious refereeing, right? And then they were convinced to come back on the pitch, and then they end up winning the game, right? And they end up lifting the trophy against Guinea. So now Guinea are saying, if you take away the trophy from Morocco, from Senegal, then we want the trophy back from Morocco as well. Because there's no statute of limitations on these things, right? Obviously. And so they are also lodging a complaint with CAF, right? And if the decision gets turned over, right, by the Court of Arbitration of Sports, then of course they'll keep quiet. But if it doesn't, then Guinea could actually end up winning their first Afcon, and Morocco will stay on the same number of Afcon, so it wouldn't even matter. But also quite interesting as well is that Hakimi and other players have come out and said they don't want the medals, they don't want the trophy. Because obviously, as a sports person, that's not how you want to win it, isn't it? Anyway, your thoughts first. What do you think?
I think it speaks. I think when players on the team, you know, I think Hakimi basically said, my mother told me not to take it and I'm not going to take it. I'm going to encourage the rest of my teammates not to do this. You know, this is not how the game is played.
Yeah.
I think once the competitors that were on the field are saying, guys, what's done is done. We lost it on the day. Let's have it. Let's let it be. Let it be what it's going to be. That should be honored.
Yeah.
And two, it speaks to what people want to do to stay in their job. Because for me, this is an administrative. This is people in the Moroccan Federation saying, no, for my job, for me to stay my CV, I need this on here, regardless of how it affects what happened in 1970s, which I didn't know about, regardless of what the players on the field who played the game want. I want this on my CV because it's going to make me marketable to X, Y, or Z or whatever. I can get more money, right. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I
think also money changed hands for us. Money changed hands. There's no way.
Without a doubt. I mean, it was a home tournament.
Corruption.
A lot of people, 100%. I mean, yes, that goes without saying. And maybe lives were on the line, and maybe people are fighting this because their lives are on the line if they don't make this pass or whatever. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? You know, because this is Africa.
It's Africa. It is Africa.
You know what I'm saying? Africa. You know, you can't just say what you want to. So I think Hakimi is I think Hakimi and the other players basically saying, guys, because here's the thing: if you're a professional athlete, you can't live in the past.
No, you can't.
Every loss, go back to the Arsenal conversation before. You can't dwell on this loss to Man City. You can't say,
You
this
have
is
to go
that.
forward.
If Manchester United saying, oh, Maguire did this and you can't dwell there, because if you spend your career dwelling on these failures, you will not make any progress. And Hakimi and his fellow players, understand this. It's a tournament.
Yeah.
You went. It was in your home country. It would have meant a lot. You failed to do it. Let it be. Now it becomes this in-court battle that happens. You're tarnishing the African brand.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, really, because now what happens, right? It puts to light all the things that Morocco did, and what's happening, right? Why I say that there's corruption at foot here is because I think that if the board are thinking men, right, I think they anticipate that this decision is going to be overturned. I think the reason why they made the decision is because they wanted to sweep under the carpet all the charges that they released Morocco from. Right? So Morocco did 5 things, to my estimation, that were deplorable. And actually, personally, I think that they should have the World Cup taken away from them. The first thing they did, right, is that they downgraded the hotel of Senegal, right? And they put them in a lesser hotel, right?
Like a crowded area where the fans were.
In a crowded area, right? And then the crowd, right, were shouting and all night, which happens sometimes, but they were making racist monkey noises and throwing bananas at the players. When the bus was coming out, bananas were being thrown at the bus when they were going to training. They put the training field right next to the Morocco training field, for a side, right next to it. And they saw Morocco recording their practices and they complained to CAF. Nothing happened, Dololo, right? Then they had the famous towel thing that Hakimi himself was involved in. When they were fighting. So that, by the way, that didn't only happen in the final, by the way, right? It also happened against Cameroon and against Nigeria, right? And so Senegal had a tactic, right? So what they did is they put the sub goalkeeper to stand behind the Senegal goal, right? So that he could keep the towel in hand himself. But what did they do? The ball boys didn't give up. They were obviously under instructions from the Football Association, the Moroccan Football Association, right? Because they assaulted the guy on the pitch, bruv, right? It got so bad that it even spilled over onto the actual playing pitch. So imagine, during an Afcon final, there was fighting on the pitch. The ball boys were fighting the sub goalkeeper with a security guard. And then Hakimi and another player, I forget what his name is, were also involved in stealing the towel. It's ridiculous, right? And no, let me just finish. Let me tell you just what happened. And then lasers as well. They had lasers, which are illegal, by the way, at games. They had lasers going into the Senegalese players, especially Mendy, right, in goal. That's another thing. The other thing, as well, the final thing, is that when the penalty was given, right? When the penalty, because the referee didn't give the penalty, you know that, right? VAR gave the penalty. And it was a penalty. I think it was a penalty. The timing was unfortunate because it was the last kick of the game. So if they had scored, that's the end, right? So I can understand why Senegal was upset. Of course, they shouldn't have walked off the pitch. But when the referee was going to watch the VAR, as you know, right, no one's allowed in that area. But the Moroccan players flooded that area. So all those fines, they got heavily fined, right? I think their fines were up to like 6 million US dollars. Their fines for all those things that they did. But all of those things got either suspended or reduced. I think now it's a total of like 300,000 now.
Right, but
and that's what happened.
This is what I mean. I'm pragmatic, and I realize that CAF, FIFA, Moroccan Association, Zimbabwe, all these things are these soccer bodies, sports bodies, whatever. They're all influenced by money. Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the saddest parts of, when you're a kid and you think, Bora is Bora. You know what I mean? What's on the pitch is on the pitch. It's fair, whatever. The reality of it is that everything is about influence, right? And clearly, I don't exactly know all the details, but it's clear that Morocco had a layer of influence over
they have a lot of
CAF,
influence,
right?
Yeah,
doing this.
They do, yeah.
The funny thing about this is that in doing so, in bringing this to now the world stage, right? You're going to then shine lights on all these
on all those negative things,
right?
Yeah,
so it's going to work against them in the long run. But again, the people in power don't care because they made promises. They made promises to somebody. They're going to follow those promises, whether it means Morocco, like God forbid, Morocco gets taken out of the World Cup. You know what I mean? And like another.
I don't think they will. I think there'll be no repercussions.
There'll be no repercussions, right?
In terms of like from the government.
Morocco also feels that it is, the World Cup that it had in the Middle East. Huge for the African continent, right? Morocco going as far as they did. Amazing, right, for the African brand.
Yeah, but they're hosting after America, right? You know that, right?
Yeah.
They're
Well,
hosting after
yeah.
America.
But
Morocco,
I mean,
Spain, and
that's
Portugal.
so. I mean, that's it's just going to be. This is going to linger longer than they'd like, and I think they have to be careful. You have to be careful what bear you poke because it's going to cause repercussions down the line.
Because if you strip the cup from Senegal, then I think that Morocco should have real consequences for what they did. Because I'm sorry, mate. Like, I think this is football, right? It's not life or death, right? It's not like you're going to die, right, if you lose a match. So for you to be doing racist chants and monkey noise and stuff like that in Africa, by the way, in Africa, right?
But it's about
if you're
money.
Be doing those things, right? No, but if you're going to be doing those things, then I think there should be real repercussions, and they should have their cup stripped from
them. But who's the grown up? Who's the grown up that's going to take? That's going to.
FIFA should be the grown up, bruv.
FIFA are you seeing what's happening coming this year in the US? FIFA has no cojones. Yeah. You're talking about Arteta without courage. FIFA's got no courage. FIFA's got zero courage.
Jonathan says CAF are lashing out because they were embarrassed about the bias towards Morocco. Senegal walking off showed how corrupt the final was. Right.
I think it's twofold. I think walking off is bad for the African brand, right? But everything else that came before that is just as vile. So you can't say Senegal's walking off is worse than the boy attacks or the chanting of the monkey. They are at the same level of evil. And if you had a real governing body that could go in there with influence,
both teams should be punished. Yeah, both teams should be punished.
Exactly.
The match should have been abandoned, and Morocco should also face real consequences. But anyway, look, this is Africa. Anyway, speaking of Africa, can you tell us a monumentous event happened in South Africa, Steyn City? Golf, you're the golf expert. Can you explain to us what happened, what it means for African sports, and how the game of golf can grow? And tell us.
For sure. Live Golf is the biggest competitor to the PGA. Live Golf is another tournament backed by the Saudis, but definitely has a large global stretch. A lot of tournaments in Asia. They just played in Singapore. They obviously play in the US. They play in Spain. They play in they play all around the world. This past week, the first tournament was held. Live Golf tournament was held in Midrand, South Africa, at Steyn City.
I used to live in Midrand.
Oh, no way. Oh, wow. Yeah. It's on the map now.
It's far away from Steyn City.
I know.
Steyn City is creme de la creme. It's like that place is.
So Steyn City is huge for African golf. Because here's the thing: if you don't know about, I can only speak to Southern Africa. I'm not sure about the East or the West or the North, but we love our golf, right? We have some legends in the game. Zimbabwe has legends. South Africa has legends. Malawi, these are the small countries have legends, right? But the thing is, it's always like the DP World Tour would have like a small event, and we'd get some, young pros coming in, some guys working their way up in the thing, some guys trying to get their card so they go to the next level. Live Golf had some of the best players from the Ryder Cup, right? The recent Ryder Cup that happened.
Can you name us some names?
DeChambeau, who won, right?
Oh, DeChambeau was there. He's amazing.
It was a playoff between DeChambeau and the guy from Spain. How am I forgetting his name? Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the guy's name. But I mean, it was a big playoff because the Spanish guy was one of the captains in the
Ryder Cup.
In the Ryder Cup, huge competitor. Left the PGA a couple of years ago. Has been dominating. I'm going to be embarrassed when you tell me the name, but and another big part of it.
Ram?
This was
Ram.
Yes,
Ram?
John Ram.
John Ram.
So they had a playoff hole. Amazing playoff hole. If you don't watch anything, just watch that last playoff hole. It's worth watching. It's just real competitive, amazing.
Zimbabwe was in the top 10.
So, Mr. Vincent Mondoro. Scott Vincent Mondoro.
Yeah, Scott.
We're watching him. Yeah. I mean, it was great to see him representing.
Grace was third. South African Big Grace. Yeah.
So the thing about the Live Golf is that there are two different tracks. There's the individual tournament, and then there's the team tournament. Thanks, Mr. TK, John Ram. There's the team tournament. The team tournament is when you have like they have 4-man teams. So you're playing your individual game, but at the same time, you're also playing a team game. So the South African team, the Guardians, playing on their home turf in front of their home fans. I mean, it came down to the wire, like them getting points. And the thing is, there's millions of dollars on the line for this. But what's more important to me than the result is the fact that we're getting world-class players.
Yeah, definitely.
In their prime, playing in Africa, right? Playing in Singapore, playing in Hong Kong, playing in these places where the game is growing. And I think that's where the PGA lacks. The PGA is missing a trick. The PGA has its tournaments and its Augusta's coming up week after next, right? So they have this, best by far them all. They have this.
My brother was there, by the way. Zico was there, by the way. Steyn City.
Oh wow! I mean, so he can tell us firsthand.
Yeah.
But it's also great because, like, here's the thing. You're talking about the refs in England. Hey, we should get refs from Africa. You come and watch a golf tournament in Africa. See how civilized we are. Because the world still sees us as this place that's got da 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 da. Watch, in a few years, Zimbabwe is opening up a new golf facility called Hill City, I think, the Hill, right in Warren Hills in Zimbabwe. World class with it's going to be the next. It's going to be supposed to be the next. Yeah, it's going to be the next.
It's going to be beautiful, mate. Mecca. Yeah.
And Live Golf says, listen, we're not afraid. We're not afraid to come to Africa. Because this is the thing,
Zimbabwe,
Africa is amazing, right? Africa is here. We have the fans, we have the atmosphere. We don't necessarily need, And here's the thing: to me, people don't understand Live Golf. PGA Live Golf. To me, Live Golf is the T20 of the golf world.
They've negotiated right now that they can.
They've negotiated where
you don't have to be one side in. Yeah.
Yes, but you have to choose one.
Tiger Woods kind of saved the PGA, right? Didn't he? Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
he's the one guy who refused to go over.
Tiger Woods and Rory. Yeah. And there's some financial questions behind Live. That is going to be apparent. But what it does for golf, right?
Yeah.
On the African and the global stage, because just like the World Baseball Classic, that increase from 128% increase, right? It shows that the world cares about these things. Same thing in golf. The world cares. So if you're going to Africa and saying, hey guys, we have this, it was a huge event, no issues, well run, the top players in the world coming and playing. This is if you are trying to grow the game, PGA, please take notes. Please take notes. Spread the game out. Look at the NFL. The NFL is trying to get out of the US, trying to spread the world, right? They're trying to have a game in Germany,
Brazil, Mexico.
They're trying to get a franchise outside
in England,
right?
Yeah.
Because it's a global, right? You can't say.
Yeah, I think London is like leading the front, right, in terms of getting a franchise.
They're trying to get a franchise there. But here's the thing: this is where the world is going, and football, Bora, is the one that started this, right? Because everyone in the world knows Manchester United. Everybody in the world knows Arsenal. Everybody, and that's what these teams want to do. Live Golf is smart. They're being like, hey, our brand is going to become global. While you guys are saying, hey, we're playing at Augusta, we're playing at TPC Sawgrass. That's great.
Yeah.
But if you're only playing for your 20-something booze buddies who are going there, the college guys, you're missing a whole nother market of educated.
I think they can be like this comfort, right? There's a comfort into tradition is important. I love tradition, right? I love tradition. But I think tradition has its place. It mustn't come at the expense of progress, right? So progress must be tempered by tradition, but it must still be progress. And I think that's where you're talking about at the PGA, where they're lacking in terms of they've got all the tradition, but they're lacking the progress to be progressive. Right. It can't just be about Augusta, right? It can't just be about Augusta, right?
Right.
And St. Andrews in Scotland and things like that. It has to be about other things, right? And so I see the same. I think I'm pivoting to Formula One here. I think Formula One as well is seeing in the years now it's growing a bit because it's opening up to like now China and other places. And they talk about having one in South Africa, Kyalami, having a race in South Africa. And I think having golf, having Formula One, look, it has to be, bro. It has to be.
And again, and that's what I think a lot of these business owners are realizing, right? Because again, it's about revenue, right? These guys want revenue.
Open up the market, yeah.
Like the sooner people realize that Africa is not this backward place that's just full of people who are consumers. you have to realize that Zimbabwe, South Africa, Nigeria, these people have wealth, right? And they come.
Sewikno.
Wickno.
So we have this. I don't know. Do you remember about Sewikno?
Uh-uh.
Sewikno is like he's like replaced Chiangwa Jinimbi. He's like the new young rich celebrity, right?
Okay.
So yeah, so he's like he gives away cars and stuff like that all the time, and
Okay.
So he's saying
Okay.
Wickno should start a live golf team.
For the
He
richer
should
brothers.
really.
I mean, why
That'd be
not?
hilarious. Yeah,
Why
why
not?
not? Why not?
But
Why
it's
not?
good. I mean,
I think
here's the
let's.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think let's end on the because I think this is great. Look, I think Africa has lots of potential. I think there's an untapped market in Africa, right? I think you have drained Europe of all the money you could possibly get, and America as well, right? So I think South America, Asia, Africa, these are the new markets for sports, right? And now I think when you look at the revenue stream of the Premier League, the majority of it comes from Asia and Africa and South America, not the Western world anymore, right? And so I think the NFL has to wake up as well, because if you look at the Super Bowl, I think I've told you this before, the Super Bowl, right, was watched by like 170 million, between 150 million and 200 million people. The next day, Liverpool played Man City in a normal Premier League game, not anything special. Of course, there was a lot on the line, blah, 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 but 750 million people tuned in to watch that. Right. More than almost triple the amount of people that watch the Super Bowl, which is the biggest event in America, right? American television, right? And so there's a huge market outside of America. There's a huge market outside of the traditional Western alliance, right? And the majority of the 750 million were not in the UK, by the way. They were not in Liverpool. They were not in Manchester. They were all over the world, in Africa, in South America, in Asia, in the Middle East. Yeah. And so I think you're right. Golf is a fantastic sport, right? And then, again, it's good for kids. Get them out of the streets, as it were, right? Give them something to do. No, they learn discipline. They learn culture, right? They learn how to be, how to be a gentleman and stuff like that. And they also learn how to play a great sport. And it's a great sport. And I think that everyone should have access to it. And I think there is a huge market in Africa to grow those sports. Because can you imagine if we have different champions every year in the PGA and the Live Tour? You got a guy from Zimbabwe, a guy from Malawi, a guy from Hong Kong, a guy from Chile, right? A guy from South Korea. A guy from South Korea is quite well established. But you know what I'm saying? Like a guy from South Africa and New Zealand and Fiji and some places like that. Yeah. That would really grow the game. And I think that's something that we should look forward to.
And I think, last talk about golf. I think, the comparison is kind of what we're talking about with the World Baseball Classic versus the NFL, the World Series. The Aaron Judge, one of the best players on the U.S. team, said, the atmosphere at this World Baseball Classic is better than the World Series.
Yeah.
Right. So he himself said it, that this overpowers that. This is where the PGA has to wake up, because the PGA is a league, right? And they think they are the only league. They're monopolizing the league. The reality is now there's another league, right? Now there's competition, and you have to harness. You have to harness what the world has. The world is smaller now because everything is vertical. Everything comes on these things, and you can see the whole world right here with everything. So the sooner you jump on board and connect all these people who can't speak the same language but love the same team or love the same player, the sooner you're going to get your revenue stream going up.
Yeah, look. I mean, check go to Zimbabwe, and I'm talking about Dishambo, and I know him. You know what I'm saying? That shows an American guy, right? That shows like the reach of golf and the reach of sport, right? Everywhere across but anyway, let's end at the tail end of the Premiership. Tottenham Hotspur, mate. I thought they were going to recover, man. I thought they were going to recover because I saw them play against Atletico Madrid. Brilliant game. And for me, like, I thought there was the sort of like the unveiling of Xavi Simons, right? Xavi Simons was finally out, shedding his shell, right? It was like a little butterfly flying out of his cocoon. And guess what? He gets benched the next game. He was the best player on the pitch. He gets benched, right?
I am surprised.
Colomwani played very well against Atletico. Bench. And you're like, what are you doing, bruv?
I'm surprised that Tudor isn't gone already. I talked to my Tottenham buddy, and he was like, the guy shouldn't last the night. He's still there. They haven't called anything. They have 7 games left.
Isn't it too late?
Trust me. Leeds 2-3 seasons ago, we were changing guys with 3 games to go. Aldridge came, Allardyce came in with like three games to go. You can come in at any point.
Did it work?
But no,
Did it work?
it's not. It's so. Tottenham, a London team is going down in third place. Like the third spot is going to be a London team.
West Ham or Tottenham, yeah.
Last time we talked, I said Forest was was in danger.
But Forest is looking good, bro.
Basically, Forest was like, "Listen, we're staying up, we're playing." So now, if you're asking,
they're like not part of.
It's like we heard your conversation. So guess what, buddy? No like Sunny.
We're out. We're out.
So it's like we're out. Yeah. So I would be really. I'd be getting ready for one of the worst days ever for a Tottenham fan.
It'll be the worst day ever.
If they don't, in their franchise history, relegation after so many years. West Ham is looking like it's going down. Who do they have? They have a tough schedule.
Sunderland, bro.
Sunderland.
Who just beat Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean that's a rivalry game. That's that's a derby game that they want. But still, Sunderland are real. I mean, Spurs. I'd be worried.
Did they really go down? You guys got you got West Ham in the FA Cup, right? And then West Ham
in the FA Cup.
Wolves is gonna be tough for West Ham, bro.
It's tough for us too, but we need to start winning. But if I'm a West Ham fan or a Tottenham fan, I am begging. It's really, to be honest, the bigger story is Tottenham. Spurs cannot figure out how to play. They cannot figure out how to play.
Xavi Simons had an excellent game against Atletico Madrid. A very good team. A team that is better than Nottingham Forest. So did Kolo Muani. Kolo Muani offers an X factor, right? Offers an X factor, okay?
Yeah.
You have to play. Mateus Tel has been playing well. He has to play. Tel played well. He has to play, right? Yeah. And he started, right? Well done, Tuto, right?
Yeah.
Kolo Muani played well. He's on the bench. Why? Xavi Simons is on the bench. Why? Right? Why? And when Xavi Simons came on, you saw the game kind of, I mean, it didn't do much, but the game sort of got a bit more exciting. So for me, it's just rocket science. At this stage of the season, there's no resting for you. I need the 3 points. I need the 3 points. Why rest defense, players?
So in his defense, in the defense of, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, maybe, in terms of Xavi, Simons and Colomani, you don't play them because, playing in Europe versus playing in the EPL is different, right? The style of play of those teams are different. So you need to play a defensive game, and Colomani and
against Forest,
Simons, you do, because you're both fighting for relegation.
You're at home at Forest, Faisal.
You still need to.
You're Tottenham.
No. You're Tottenham with 13 guys injured. You're not Tottenham. You're Tottenham's B team.
You can't play defensive football, man. You're like Tottenham.
But here's the thing. You need to. I know, but here's the thing. If you are a relegation manager, I know this for a fact because we were there 2 years ago. If you're a relegation manager, what you can't do is give up goals. So what you're playing for is draws and possible wins. Losses are a no-no. That's what you're playing for. And so you say, right, who's going to run back and play defense? Colomwani doesn't do that. Richarlison will come back. Let's put him in the team. Simons, attacking. I love these guys. They're attacking. But we have to play safe because we need to secure that we have at least 1 point from this. That was the biggest failure on their part, was that they gave up points. They should, if they were going to play defensively and don't give up goals. You gave up three.
Yeah, but look, but here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. The goalkeeper, you got Trafford sitting at Man City, right? Trafford sitting at Man City. You got that Mahadashvili. I'm sorry, I'm butchering his name.
Mamadashvili.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Mamadashvili.
Excellent goalkeeper. Even Biandia, the guy at Manchester United, our sub goalkeeper, he's far better than Vicario. Vicario is a disaster.
You can't blame it on Vicario. You can't blame it on Vicario.
Look, okay, so the first half they were playing well, Tottenham, right? They weren't playing excellently, they were playing decent football, right? And then a free kick happens. So that's what. So here's what I'm saying, right? Things happen in games. So, for instance, they had that free kick that happened, right? So
Yeah.
that pushed them. Halftime. Okay, halftime. The feeling may be a bit down on the. But look, it's
Yeah.
okay. The second goal, he has to stop that, bruv.
No.
It goes through his legs, bruv.
Simba. It's.
Nah.
Here's the thing. There was no one around Gibbs White. No one. He's in the middle of the box,
Again,
and there's no one around him.
Yeah.
How can you blame the goalkeeper in that scenario?
By some miracle, he kicks the ball straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
save the bloody thing.
You can't blame the keeper in that scenario. You cannot blame the keeper because where are your defenders?
Bruv.
He is their best player. He's Nottingham Forest's best player, and he's in the middle of the box unguarded. No one came to the guy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. No, you're right there. But what's your keeper's name? Sorry, I'm forgetting his name.
Well, we have two. We have what
happened to Melier, the French guy?
He's the fourth string. He's not even the third string. He's the fourth string.
I like that guy, bro.
I liked him too in the championship, but he failed. Oh my God!
Whomever,
I can't remember.
Whoever that goalkeeper is, he would make that save. I stand here and say Senny Lamans would make that save.
Simba
would make that. He was right at the goalkeeper, bro.
I want everybody to know this here now. I was a goalkeeper in high school, right? So I'm going to speak from a goalkeeper's point of view.
Not a very good one, though.
I was still there. If your defenders leave you high and dry like that, leaving their best player in the middle of the box unmarked.
Yes.
Don't blame me when I jump a bit too high and the ball comes under my feet. Where were you?
No.
Defenders, bro. Defenders.
Defenders have their own. They have to take their own lumps there, right? Defenders were. Let's put it this way. Defenders were.
It's appalling. The defense is appalling.
70%. Look, man.
The defense is appalling. That you can't blame Vicario for 3 goals.
Jonathan is rough, bro.
You guys are evil.
He's evil. You know that guy on the Tottenham fan on the internet.
Yeah.
It's called the expressions. You know that guy, right?
Yeah.
So the last couple of weeks, he had when they were being beaten by Atletico Madrid, right? He had 80,000 people on his live. So he's like, dude, I normally only have like 20 people. Why you got 80,000? You guys are just here to see me lose. They were literally there to watching. 80,000 people wanted to watch him just watch it just to hear him. Like, bro, it's hilarious. He's feeding from like 500 people to 80,000, bro.
Guys, the reality is Tottenham Tottenham and Arsenal need to come out like dogs on heat come the next games and dominate these games. They need to come on heat for Arsenal to get their psyche right for the next 7 games, and for Tottenham to be like, we are too big to fail. We are too big to fail. If
Tottenham get relegated and Arsenal win the league, it'll be the worst thing ever to happen to Spurs, bro. And remember, like, they're playing Chelsea the second last game, right? So they could get relegated at Chelsea. Imagine that scenario. Arsenal win the league, Tottenham get relegated, and they get relegated at Chelsea. My God. That will go down as literally the worst.
Which then begs the question:
why is
Tudor still there? Like, why is Tudor still
I think
managing?
That they've got no choice, man.
But you can't do that. Then you're giving up on your like. Can you do that? Did you just call Boki?
TK says they spent all their money on their stadium and never invested where it counted most. Look at how long it's taking Wrexham to finish their stadium. They're investing in the right place. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you that, by the way. How's Wrexham being received in America? Do they like it? Do they love it? You know, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McLean. I don't know how to say his name. Rob
McElhaney. Yeah. It's a fun story. It's basically, okay, this is how Americans see it. It's basically the real life version of Ted Lasso in their eyes. So for them, it's fun, right? You know what I'm saying? For them, it's like, oh yeah, wow, the American team, oh yeah, you know. For them, it's Mafado, you know. Now, that's regular Americans. Americans who support real teams,
Yeah.
Like, so Americans who, because people, here's the thing, the US people wake up early to watch these
Yeah.
games. They are real
Yeah.
fans of the
Of football.
EPL,
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
championship in the US, not the ones who just bought on because, Tom Brady bought Birmingham or this, that, the other. The people that are here from before.
Oh
Those
yeah, Tom
people are
Brady bought
like,
Birmingham. LeBron James
yeah,
is invested in Liverpool, right?
Liverpool, like
Yeah.
a bunch of
Yeah.
people. Everybody's got their portfolio is
Yeah.
expanding. The real fans are like, okay, guys, like good for Wrexham, but like, like their team, their Welsh team. Let's not start claiming blah blah blah. It's a good story. I'd love to be that Welsh town growing. The issue that happens is eventually those guys will leave, and then it becomes that book, Things Fall Apart. That book that is. So
It's my
enjoy
you
the
know what?
time.
Yeah, it's literally my favorite book on earth. I mean,
I
it says
know
the
it's one of
Bible,
my
but
best.
it is.
Yeah,
I love that book. I love that book.
yeah.
Things Fall Apart.
Things fall
Chinua
apart.
Achebe. Chinua
Chinua
Achebe.
Achebe. Things fall apart.
Great book.
Or
Great book.
it'd be the other one by Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Weep Not My Child. Is it Weep Not My Child? Was that?
Oh, yeah,
So maybe
classic,
that'd be the
classic.
Tottenham fans being like, guys, some recreational reading. Weep Not My Child.
Yeah, the Spurs board is garbage. Okay, so like just to conclude, so West Ham, right?
Mm.
Without Somerville, they just don't look like scoring, man. Without Somerville, they just I don't know. So who's your money on? Spurs or West Ham? Who do you think is likely to go down?
Having watched the games, having watched this weekend game, and I watched them particularly because I knew we were going to have this conversation.
Yeah.
We'll start from the bottom. Wolves going down, but they are going to fight. They are going to all the way
Yeah.
down. They're going to fight. Burnley
Yeah.
done. Right, Burnley actually
Burnley are done.
might land below Wolves. To be honest, they
Dude,
might
that,
actually
that
flip
game
spots.
was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Burnley were
Burnley.
butch. They were terrible. But somehow
Yeah.
they found themselves level. I don't understand.
Yeah.
No, they were in the lead. They were in the lead.
Yeah. No, I know.
But they were
I know.
at
Burnley.
Fulham were completely
Burnley.
dominant the game. I watched that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was it's a joke. And with that many games left in the season, I think Burnley is actually going to be last in the league. Personally,
Yeah,
I
they'll
think
be
Wolves are
last,
going to jump
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
West Ham they need Somerville to come back.
They need Somerville to come back.
But
So badly.
if I'm looking at it objectively, tactically, I think Spurs are in a worse position. Just to your point, what you're talking about, the Xavi Simons, Kolomwani, you have these players on you coming off the bench. Like to what you're talking about, tactically, I think Spurs could lose the whole thing. I think Spurs could go down because of their tactics.
And also
Because I think Nuno Espirito Santo, Nuno is a good coach, right? Nuno is a good coach, and he's gonna figure out whatever. Spurs have a terrible schedule coming up. And the manager just doesn't have the support of the team. When your defenders leave the other team's best player in the box, and you're already playing a defensive mindset, what's going on, guys? Clearly, you've given up.
How is Gibbs White unmarked in the box? Like if surely you have to mark one player.
Middle.
You should have to mark one player. You have to mark him, bro. It was a great cross, though. It was a lovely cross.
It was a beautiful cross, but he was still by himself in the middle of the box. Vicario Uzbing or not, he was still in the middle of the park. I don't know, by himself.
Do you know, in my head, I still can't process the fact that Tottenham could be relegated. I just can't. I was going through the mathematics, like I was looking at on the online. They're gonna lose like hundreds of millions of dollars, mate.
Yeah,
hundreds of millions of dollars. You know,
it will be the biggest failure in system.
Jonathan said the Spurs players might actually want to get relegated so they can leave the team easily because of the relegation clauses. They don't want to struggle in EPL with Spurs again next season.
Let me tell you guys what happens when you get relegated. For you guys who don't know how that goes, the Manchester United, the Cities, the whatever. When you go down, you get gutted. Your team, your squad gets gutted. You lose everything and everyone.
We need some of the players, bro.
One cohort. Leeds will get back Archie Gray. Will basically take him back Mahara because they'll be like, I'm telling you right now, when you go down, the damage that it does to your chances. That's why the championship, the championship coming back up is such a huge deal because you hold on to assets you can possibly more. When you go down, especially at a team that level, you know that everyone's going to leave. So you're basically going down to the level of the bottom of the. You're playing a B team. You're playing your Spurs B team. All your kids are going to come and possibly bring you up. And look at what happened to Leicester.
Yeah.
Leicester. Oh, we're going down for a season. We're coming up.
That's
They're gone.
literally what Jonathan says. Take a look at Leicester now.
Yeah. I mean, it's the truth, because that's why it was a big deal for Leeds to come back these past 2 seasons, right? Come back, because we lost Somerville, we lost Archie Gray, we lost Jorginho
Two
Rutter,
great players.
we lost all these players,
Yeah.
and we still managed to come up, and now we have a chance of staying. That's why the championship fight is hard. And if I was Spurs, I do not want anything to do with it. I want to stay out of that melee, because if you do, Vicario won't be the worst of your problems. Vicario will be your best player in your team, because that's the only person.
Vicario is just so some of the financial implications, right? And you would know this better than I do, is that the tickets prices are gonna have because they got some of the highest ticket prices in Europe. I think it's like average of £76 per ticket to go watch a Tottenham game. That's gone, right?
Yeah.
The money from the Premiership, the TV Premiership, right, will be cut by like 20%.
Yeah.
So that's gone. Revenue from the Champions League, that's gone, right? Sponsors as well have relegation clauses in their things, right?
Yeah.
I think last year they got a record revenue of £264 million or something like that in sponsorships. That's gone, right? So imagine all that money gone, right? And they still have to, because remember they took out a loan for the stadium, right? They still have to pay back. They're still paying back that loan for the stadium, for the new stadium, right? So ticket prices are going to be slashed. They're not going to be anywhere near. They won't even be half of that, right? The average championship ticket is like in the teens or something, teens or 20s, right? So like £18, £20. That's what you're looking at for an average championship ticket, right? So you're not going to be getting, imagine, from £74 to £20. That's what you're looking at. No championship, no Champions League, no Premier League, no sponsorship. All of that gone. Stadium ticket prices gone. I mean, they are going to be in a world of hurt. A world of hurt. You know what I'm saying? I think they're better off just saying to the flexing players that are left, guys, we'll give you £1 million each if you don't get relegated.
That's not motivation enough.
Don't get relegated, and then also at the end of the summer, you can leave if you want to, and we won't stand in your way.
So here's my final thought on what we've been talking the whole day.
Yeah.
I'm teaching my kids how to speak, and M says M says M says motivation and momentum. Arsenal needs to motivate themselves and take back the momentum. Tottenham need to find motivation, be it the money that they're making, pay you more, and they need to find momentum. If not this, obviously we have the friendlies coming up and we have the FA Cup. When they start again April, right? Tottenham needs to destroy, like embarrass another team. Arsenal needs to do what they did to Leeds, 4-0. That's what you need. That's how you win the title, right? Because if Arsenal win the next game by 4 back, they've won the title, right? And they can rest easy. They can put the kid in there. If Tottenham come out there and put a spanking on another team, now it's unfortunate they got some competition, but if they come in there and they dominate, then they have a chance. If they don't and they get a draw, or worse, they get a loss, it's over. Because Tudor should be gone by now. They have 7 games left. You're talking about all this money they're losing. Why aren't they getting someone else in there? Why aren't they getting the defenders in the right place? That's players not playing for your coach. That's players not coming to the spots. That players not doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. So Arsenal have got Brighton next in the league, and Man City have got Chelsea. Man City have got Chelsea and then Arsenal. Those 2 games. And then
Man
Arsenal
City,
have got
watch out for Man City.
Bournemouth, and then Man City. Nah, I think it's dead.
Tottenham. Who does Tottenham have?
Tottenham have got West Ham. Wait. Yeah. No, Tottenham have got Sunderland, and then they got Brighton. Sunderland away, Brighton at home.
Tottenham need to beat Sunderland 3-0.
They need to beat.
They need to beat Tottenham 3-0. And they need to score early. They need to be aggressive. They need to be on top of this team the entire way.
Yeah. I don't know what they say. Anyway, Faisal, I think it's time for us to sign out. Yeah.
Yes.
Sweet 16, who's your money on for the guys that are betting?
Auburn. I think Auburn have they're number one in their side of the bracket, and I think they haven't lost in the past couple of games. I think Auburn is the way to go. And I think they're the team to watch. And we'll see. I mean, it's been good. There've been some darlings who have been kicked out, but I think Auburn is and maybe UConn. UConn has a chance. They've been playing well on the East, so UConn and Auburn, but I think Auburn's going to take the whole thing.
Okay, man. See you same time next week, guys. For a side, we'll be here. I don't know what we'll be talking about next week, but it'll be something exciting, definitely. Although Tetenda doesn't agree with you, as the title make fun of. Yes,
We'll talk about that next week.
We'll talk about that next week, man.
Yeah.
But stay safe wherever you are in the world. Stay safe. And yeah, man, keep watching African Sports Guy. This channel is for you. This week, let me end it with a little anecdote. This week, there's a very famous guy called Sam Houston. He's a big Manchester United fan. He just released a video saying that Luis Enrique is not good enough for Manchester United. Basically, like Luis Enrique won't work for Manchester United. Now, he's a big Manchester United fan. I'm not questioning his integrity, but he's mates with Rio Ferdinand. And Rio Ferdinand obviously wants Carrick to be what? To be the manager, right? And so this channel is to express your opinion and squash those English opinions that makes no sense, that are just sort of nepotism, that they want to keep things English. You know what I'm saying? They want Michael Carrick, Southgate, Eddie Howe, them kind of managers, right? And the reasons he gave are nonsensical. And so this channel is for you guys, that to give an opinion that's not in Europe, that's outside of Europe, that is that also conveys our fans' opinion as well to the rest of the world and what we want to happen, whether it be golf, having Live Go come to Africa, having F1 come to Africa, whether it's the Morocco Senegal situation, whether it's the World Baseball Classic. Maybe Zimbabwe can one day play in that classic, because we do play baseball in Zimbabwe, we do, right? And all these things. So just please like and subscribe, follow, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. I do reply to every single comment. And God bless you. And for a side, see you next week, bro.
Cheers, Baba. Thanks, eh?
Yes.
Go Leeds.
Go Leeds. I will be supporting Leeds in the FA Cup, by the way.